Hello, everybody. Hope you had a good weekend. I did. It was an interesting weekend. Well, at least yesterday was. So my wife's family, her brother and his family, I should say, came up yesterday afternoon after their meeting, and came and had dinner with us here. And it was pretty interesting. We usually sit around and talk, but most of the time, invariably, several years now, we will always have a discussion. My brother-in-law is an elder, but he's also very homophobic, and to the point where it's just ridiculous. And it's really arguing with him about it is like arguing with a wall. But he brought it up again because one of his sons, all three of his sons are still young, but one of his sons has thinks he wants to be a hairdresser. Well, his grandfather is a barber, and his mother, his own mother, she likes to do hair. She does her own. She likes to do other people's as well, and I think this little one, he just finds it interesting. Whether this is a desire he's going to have when he gets older or not remains to be seen. It doesn't matter. But my brother-in-law, he doesn't like it. And first of all, he starts saying, "Well, I don't like it because he's going to be enticed to, he's going to be around women, he's going to be enticed to do the wrong thing." Well, that's just, that's going to happen. That doesn't matter where you go. That's humanity for you. That's living in society. That stuff happens whether you, no matter what your employment is that stuff's going to happen. But really, his intentions really came out after a while, because he feels that this is an area of mostly where if men are involved in it, they're going to be homosexual, or they are homosexual. And so every time we have this discussion, which, like I said, is just really kind of ridiculous because it's pointless to discuss it with him. But the three of his wife, my wife, and myself are always, getting after him because what if one of his children are that way? Is he going to disown him and not show him any love and respect anymore? How is the son going to feel about his father if he treats him this way? It's not good. It really isn't. But something that he said that really made me mad. It was so ridiculous. He sat there and he said, we brought out the point that this is not something that a person decides one day, hey, I'm going to be gay, and I'm just going to stick with that. And maybe some people do that. I do realize that some people experiment. That's their own business, of course. But I do know that this is something that people are born. They're born with that with that desire, and we can't judge them for that. That's their own makeup. That's what makes them who they are. We can't judge them and force them to change a lifestyle that is completely alien to them. Just for the same reason that I, as a heterosexual, cannot be forced to seek sexual relations with someone within my own sex. that's ridiculous, because that's not who I am. That's not my desires. And so the same thing with someone that's gay. And we try to point this out to him. So he finally says, well, if that's the case, if you're born that way, then you're no different than a pedophile. They're born that way too. Oh boy. Everybody, I'm telling you what. I got so mad, I jumped up out of my seat and I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. You are talking about two totally different things, all right? And of course, my wife and his wife both jumped on him about it too. But I says, you are dealing with something completely different. And I said, of all people, you being an elder ought to know better than that. I said, homosexuality is something that's going to be done between two consenting adults. Two people who know exactly what they're doing. They have the mental capacity to deal with it, to understand it, and to make that mature decision. I told him, I said, pedophilia is a sickness. It is a criminal activity, and what you are doing to that child or adolescent, or however old the person is, they don't have the right to make that choice. They don't have the emotional or the physical ability to take that decision upon themselves. The maturity level is not there. I remember a judge in a particular case years ago in a congregation I was in, and a judge made the point perfectly clear that the emotional state of a child, especially someone that is dealing with that is dealing with the emotions of a teenager, cannot understand the implications, nor do they have the physical abilities to deal with in a situation if they become pregnant. And consequently, this young girl that dealt with this had a baby, and she hemorrhaged. And well, of course, because Jehovah's Witnesses don't take blood, she almost died giving birth. And it was another kid that got her pregnant, but the point is he was already an adult, whereas she was not. And he was facing statutory rape. And the judge told him, he says, I'm going to tell you right now, had she had died giving birth, you wouldn't be sitting up here facing statutory rape. You'd be here facing murder. And that's the way it is. So, no, there's a big difference. And I really fear the fact that the leaders of these individual congregations of Jehovah's Witnesses are not educated enough to understand what this stuff means. It's scary, and it makes me upset to no end. And I know many of you out there feel the same way as I do. And I really speak out against it, now more than I ever have. When I first heard about it years ago, I was appalled that it even happened. And I'm thinking, this could not happen in Jehovah's organization. Well, it happens. And of course, this is really not Jehovah's organization anyway. Instead, it's become something that they're hiding, something that is being swept under the rug, and is not being properly dealt with. I dare the people in the Watchtower organization to look at this head on and deal with this sickness that is prevailing amongst the many congregations. It doesn't just happen to Jehovah's Witnesses. It doesn't just happen to the Catholic Church. It happens all over, whether it's a religious organization or something else, a school system, anything, family members. It doesn't matter. It needs to be dealt with. If this organization, I should say, is wanting to represent the name of God and to do things right in the name of God, then you need to tackle this situation, and you need to do it right now. It's past time, way past time, to have got this done by now. But it's not too late. You need to take care of it. You need to go ahead and deal with it, do something about it, and allow the authorities to handle these situations. Because you brothers out there, none of you are in a position to give a child any type of counsel or any help to cope with the disaster that their lives have faced because of this. Too many children and too many young adults have been hurt by this, and you've lost many people in this mess because of that. And I would really love to see you guys tackle, to have that wherewithal to do it, instead of sweeping it under the rug, and instead of lying about it, saying, no, we don't condone pedophiles, we hate them, we hate the actions. Well, then show the proof. The proof is in the pudding, right? Actions speak louder than words. I don't see any actions coming from you yet. Instead, you cowardly hide behind your loopholes that your lawyers allow for you, instead of looking at it head on. So really, yeah, I'm upset. I'm mad because you're not teaching your own elder bodies. You're not teaching the flock anything about this. So I'm disgusted, and I want to see something happen. And I do not want to see another child hurt again. I told myself years ago, when my son was first born, 14 years ago, that I will never allow this to happen to him. And the same thing with my daughter when she was born. I will never let this ever happen to them. And I never did. I never allowed them to sleep over at anybody's house or anything like that, because I didn't trust anybody. And that's an awful thing, that you can't trust people that you feel is related to you in faith in Jesus Christ. Well, this is not the truth. These things happen. And I believe wholeheartedly that this is a sickness, that it can be helped. But you need to go to the authorities to get that help. You need to go to the right people to get it. And there are ways of handling that. So, there's no excuses. No excuses whatsoever. Let's quit hiding behind stupid loopholes and hiding behind your own policies, and just do the right thing. All right? Just please do the right thing. For the sake of our children, for the sake of allowing them to grow up having a normal life and a happy life, instead of having to get screwed up in the head and having to deal with things that they are not equipped to deal with. All right? So this is my plea to the Watchtower organization. Many of you out there, I'm sure, are going to agree with me, and I know that a lot of you have said the same thing. But this is what I'm saying right now. I'm very passionate about this, and I am willing to do extra things to make sure that this takes place. And hopefully there are others that will wish to do the same thing, and whether we're able to get something done or not, at least we tried. But the point is, this is something that really needs to be done before another child is hurt. I don't want that to happen again. So that was just a story. I just want to let you guys, I just wanted to share with you and kind of let you know what really irks me. And I'm tired of it. And I'm not going to sit back and be quiet anymore. And so here I am. Here I am. I'm gonna speak out. And thank you for listening. And I'm going to go ahead and close this off now. And thank you again for listening. And I appreciate your comments. And we'll talk to you again later. Y'all have a good day.